Alright guys, welcome back to the channel and to the garden. In today's video we're just going to be doing part 1 of our June tour. In today's video we're going to take a look in depth at the jungle area of the garden, or the area we're trying to make sort of look and appear like a jungle, so sort of more densely planted. You can see we've got quite a few of the tree ferns in there. Added a few more plants since last time, but just to say, we'll be following this with part 2 and 3. Part 2 we'll cover all of the top bed, the back bed back there, and just down to the start of the mini golf course. And part 3 is going to cover down at the back of the mini golf course, the arid bed, as well as our big leaf border, which has all the yuccas flowering at the moment there. So stay tuned, and we'll go through just as we take a look at some of the plants here. Just down here, you can just see we have the cordyline red star. Now that's been in for a couple months now. It is in more of a shaded area. You know, I'm trying to hope that it gets a bit more overhead protection from the large bay above it here. One thing about this area, just to kind of point out as well, is you know, it's a very, very hot sort of week this week here in the UK, approaching sort of 30 degrees C. But with that said, at the moment it is about 28 as I'm recording this. In this area here, we have created a bit of a microclimate, so I've kind of used the overhead cover to my advantage. I would say real feel in this area at the moment is probably around about 19 to 20, so a good significantly significant temperature difference being out the sun as well. Just looking next to that, you can just see here we've got the baby Dicksonia antarctica tree fern. This one has put out all of these fronds this year. Only had one that kind of made it through, but we had an accident. The cats had actually sat on this, from what I can tell. Got another new one coming out here, and we've got this one that's just finally uncurling, and you can just see on the end here, if I can get in on the tips, all the little uncurls there. It's quite cool when they come out, and they do size up. So even though it's quite small, you know, size wise at the moment here, it should kind of thicken out as it does kind of grow in and harden off the leaf there. Just as we come down this way, sorry for the focus issues here, you can just see added a couple of the Morrison's bamboos. Now I believe this to be like a Fargesia. It's not really labeled correctly here, but again I do believe it to be a small sort of clumping type. If anyone knows what this one might be, or you've got these from Morrison's, let me know in the comment section below. Just next to that we've got our Phoenix Robellini. That one's still in a pot. I'll come around to give you a little better view on that one here, and you can just see really nice and healthy looking. One thing with these, if you have got them, I know it does kind of recommend a lot of the time sort of full sun, but I do believe a lot of these palms and things we're getting at B&M are going to be greenhouse grown for their final kind of years while they are rooting in the pots. So I'd just be careful on sunburn with these. Mine haven't really experienced any sunburn, but they are, you know, pretty much partial shade, almost full shade. Next to that, this is one of the divisions of the Spectabilis that we took. It is still putting up the culm, so I'm glad it is, you know, hasn't completely keeled over since we've kind of chopped it off. New culm coming up here as well, and you can just see sort of bending there. Unfortunately, pampas grass here, it doesn't look like it's doing well after it's been transplanted. Again, these are kind of hard to transplant. I don't think the weather's helped either. Just down here, you got one of the rhododendrons. Got a couple different varieties here. It's a white flowering one and your yellow flowering. This one's a bit later in the season, as you can see. Just as we look from this angle, you get your kind of first view of the waterfalls in the front there. Just get it to zoom in. Gives you a nice kind of I don't know, overall view as you come in here. Just looking this way, again you can see some of the large dryopteris ferns that we've got here that have done pretty well this year, all kind of popped out. You know, pretty happy with that. And just into here, guys, you can also see we've got the pink striped phormium. We've got one of the sort of trailing sedums, and another pickup from B&M, and I can't remember for the life of me the name of this. I did mention it in a previous video when I planted it, but apologies, this time I can't remember it here. Just coming this way, we've got one of the Dryopteris Aerosora brilliance ferns. Now this one, as you can see, not many new leaves. Here's one that's coming out quite red. Quite nice kind of coloration on that, and again kind of a nice pops of color. Just as we look down the jungle stream, you can just look here, you can see another one I've planted. Just that little pops of orange there. I think it does really nicely when you're looking down the stream here as well. Just coming back from that here, you can just see another one of the large dryopteris ferns that come out of the light. Hopefully we can get a better view of that. You can see this one is approximately 6 foot now, 5.5 if you kind of account for the lift that it's got here. So done really, really well. And as you can see on top here, still uncurling its fronds at the moment here. Just down here, we've got the Japanese painted fern. And you can see really done quite well. I just love the the paterations on the leaves here, kind of that silvery, kind of purple, really pretty fern. I'm hoping to get a few more of these for the garden as well. You can just see some of the sedums as we come on right next to the waterfall that we've propagated here, going into flower. A few more on this side, also going into flower, and that's just underneath our 2-foot Dixonia Antarctica tree fern. Just put out some lovely decent sized fronds this year. I would say these fronds are probably 3.5 to 4 foot, maybe slightly larger. Another add just while I'm here, you can see I've added some of the Spanish moss, so it's Tussolida and ensenoides. Again, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but I think it kind of adds this bit more of a jungle vibe back here, hopefully. I'm hoping, and again, this is even though it's called Spanish moss, it's actually not from Spain or a moss. It's actually an epiphyte, so it literally just gonna hang there for most of the summer. I may try one outside. I have seen a few people have got these down to just around about freezing, and may just tempt one if we're having a milder winter here. That's just attached to the red robin tree, which is giving us a lot of the evergreen overhead cover. Up next to that, we've got the laburnum golden chain tree, which has come out of flower now, but it is providing a nice sort of overhead cover. And just looking up again, you can see the budula coming out over here and the bay going all the way up. And just down here, you can see a lovely bit of shade that we've got here as well. Just coming down the jungle path, and we'll just show you here, got the Polysticum neobaltum. This one's more of an evergreen type of glossy fern, quite nice on that side. I think it's one of the ones that's again, might get a few more of these. I do want some of that evergreen ground cover around here, and a lot of the ferns that we've got should be, but you may not get all of them through. I know that the painted fern will lose its leaves as well if it gets too cold. Got a standard begonia here. Again, I just like the kind of contrast it's giving us in this area. And again, this is the Areca, and I can't remember the full one on this. I did mention it in my last video, and again, I'm not quite sure, what the full name is, but that will be there as well for you. You got the Hart's Tongue fern, again, another one added here. So here's Splenium. Next to that, we've got the baby shamrops. This one was at Morrison's buy. It was only £6. Done really well, staying nice and green, very, very healthy looking still, putting out new fronds as well. Licula grandis, you can just see, has taken some sunburn. It's kind of to be expected with it being greenhouse grown as a sort of that, as well as an indoor plant primarily. I'm just hoping some of the new fronds, that these will come out and hopefully have a bit more UV tolerance on that side. Lupin, doing okay, but with this one here, sorry for the focus again, guys. It did get the head snapped off, so I think it's in a recovery mode. We've got one of the bromeliads, again, suffering a little bit from sunburn. That's been in the kitchen window for most of the season. Again, just one I'm trying out here to kind of see how that does. Just we thought, again, another one of the Spanish moss. I think it looks quite nice looking down the path here. Just down underneath that, we've got another fern that is attempting to come out. Hasn't really decided what it wants to do yet. Got a Trachycarpus fortunae palm. It's just kind of nestled in here. I'm hoping when this grows up, it's going to create, again, some more overhead cover for us, evergreen cover. Next to that, we've got the Nadina. This was a cutting I've placed over in this area, and it seems to have done really, really well. Again, evergreen as well, so kind of a nice backbone on this back edge here. Just into here, common columbine sort of dying off now, to be expected though after it's gone into flower. I'll come down to the light. Got another one of the Phoenix robolinis. Now this one is in the ground, or in a raised bed in the ground. It is done really well. It looks great at the moment, and again, I'm going to hopefully be able to protect this with full protection this winter. Washingtonia robusta. You can just see here, this was the one that kind of suffered quite a bit of damage. Wasn't protected, took a -6. It is pushing out the new leaf now and opening that up, and new spear in there is green as well. So I'm just going to kind of let this do its thing. It's going to get protected alongside the robolini here. Just looking down our floating pathway, and you can just see The little trickle stream here is giving us a lovely kind of, just a little bit of interest coming down as you're walking down this sort of area down here. As you look onto this here, you've got some of the more sedums. We've got the Miscanthus sabranus grass. Hasn't really given us too much of the variegation yet. I'm just hoping that's going to grow in. Got a couple more common ferns down here, and another begonia. Just as we start coming down the jungle path, and I'll kind of turn around to kind of show you from this angle. Now as we look this way, you can just see we've got the dryopteris Christa, which is a bit of a smaller leafed fern. Another begonia tucked into here, a few of the sedums, and as we look up you can just see the festucia grass sort of putting up its fronds. Down in here, got a baby Dicksonia antarctica is starting to put on the startings of a trunk, and I actually think that this is a double. One side here seems to be a bit smaller leaves. We've got a big central sort of trunk there that seems to be starting. So fingers crossed, we're going to keep an eye on it and see if it does start to really show signs of being a double. Step back here now. We've got the pulmonium. Again, lovely sort of variegation and style of leaf on this. This does have some blue flowers that will come out, and it'll be interesting to kind of see. Again, you can just see the starts of it here. If I can get it to focus, there we go. So it'll be interesting to see when that does start to flower. Here we have the alocasia. So this is your zebrina, or zebra, or tiger, so Siberian alocasia. Again, that's still in its pot. It's going to come in this year, but I think it adds a nice kind of feature down this little pathway here as we have a look. Off to the side, you got your Fatsia japonica, done pretty well. I'm going to trunk that up and hopefully kind of make it kind of arch over this little path a bit better. Next to that, we've got one of the yuccas, done fairly well. I don't think it's going to flower this year like a lot of the others have, but I think that's kind of where it's been in most, or almost full shade back here. Just so we take a step back, you can just see here the larger nadina starting to go into flower as we take a look, which was interesting. It's kind of white creamy flowers, and again that is an evergreen one. I found it quite easy to propagate on that side as well. Just coming back into here, we've got the heuchera that has also gone into flower, which you can see. Lovely kind of I like contrast in leaf style down here. Give us something a little bit different and try and get a few more sort of evergreen colors down here. Colocasia pink china. Again, this one is starting to come out. New leaves as well. Got a few different ones coming up. So it'll be nice when this kind of fills in this area a bit more. A few of the other common ferns down here, which you can just see, which are doing really, really well as we come out this way. Now, stepping back, the azalea didn't really flower this year, but it went in this year, so I think it needs time to root a bit more. Another Miscanthus sabrinus, again not showing big signs of the variegation. Couple of them here are, which you can just see. If I can get it to, there we go. You can just see a couple are showing it, but majority of it doesn't look like it is. So hopefully that does kind of go back to variegation. We haven't lost that variegation on that one. Got a baby musa basjoo planted this year, again since the last tour back here. Again, trying to get some more kind of jungle style leaves back here as well. Just down here we've got some of the common poppies. Again, I'll let them kind of come to flower and then I'll cut them out before they go to seed. I don't mind them. It's an interesting leaf again, and I think it kind of fits in this area a little bit as well. I've had to pull quite a few, but I've left a few again just as I don't mind them when they do come out. The Brunnera, huge style leaves on this one. This one's really done well. I don't know if it's the heat or anything else, but nice to see. Huge leaves on it, as you can see there. Underneath, this is quite interesting. Now, this is the Dicksonia antarctica stump that just did nothing for us. Still doing nothing, but when I went to kind of attempt to move it, I thought, I'm just going to pull this out now and, place it somewhere else, maybe plant a different fern in it. It has completely rooted itself into the ground now. So there is hope that, maybe in a year, next year, we may actually get some new fronds and it may have recovered. So be interesting to see on that side. And I'm going to kind of, keep an eye on that one here. Here we've got the Cypress permacanthus. This is your like papyrus type grass. This one's a smaller version. I've got that planted into the water, into the pond here. Hopefully going to start giving us some sort of filtration via the plants. Next to that, you can see our 1-foot Dixonia antarctica, which I need to step back a little bit just to get it all in the frame. Really nice, lovely fronds on that one. It's gotten, really quite big. And if you take a look from here, I kind of stand this way. I love how it kind of arches down the path now, and you do need to kind of squeeze through, if you will. I've got the irrigation set up on all of these now. Again, really, especially in this sort of weather. I'm turning it on for a good couple hours a day at the moment here on the tree ferns, and it is isolated. I do have an isolation for just tree ferns that I can switch on and off here. Underneath the tree that we are doing the experiment with by twisting the trunks, again, come into full leaf and everything, no problems with this at all. It is starting to kind of, again, create a nice canopy over this area, but it's not an evergreen, so it's only kind of summer cover, that we're going to get out of that one. The golden bamboo here, so this is your spectabilis. Lovely new canes. You can see all the kind of curvy canes in there as well. Nice golden color. Nothing really huge on that side, but it is looking, very healthy and decent and putting up new growth. On the other hand, one next to it here, you can just see some huge new canes on this one. This has had, it's the biggest canes that we've had in the garden so far. Some of the old nodes here you can see kind of compacted, but this one definitely, as I say, that's a good 10p piece, maybe slightly thicker now, all nearing on a 50p piece. So really pleased to see some big canes back here off of the green bamboo. And just as we turn this way, you can see our large clump in the center here. Now bear in mind, this was, I believe it was 2 plants divided, if I remember correctly, nearly half dead when I got them from Morrison's, and this has filled out an area now of about 12 to 15 foot by about 3 foot deep, completely full, as you can see. Lots of new growth up there as well. So yeah, certainly if you do see these in the shops and think, should I buy it when it's half dead, it could be worth a punt if it's not too expensive. Just down here in this sort of little bed with the stream as well, we've got another permacanthus in there, again hopefully getting that filtration in. We've got the saxifraga, which these have lovely little flowers on as well. Love this. It's quite a cushiony ground cover, and should be evergreen as well for me here in my zone in the UK. Next to that, Nepta doing its thing, creeping out over the path. I think it's quite a nice, again, evergreen ground cover here. If you haven't checked out our evergreen ground covers video, we do have a specific one there as well if you want to check that out. Got some of the sedums just down here starting to go into flower. We'll just get that to focus. There you go. And those come out with a nice lovely yellow flower. Just off of here, you can see our Trachycarpus wagneranus, or waggy palm, doing well, putting out a fair bit of new growth here as well. Just underneath that, you've got the euphorbia, ascot rainbow, and you can also see some of the ferns, more of the sedums, and we've also got some of the standard bedding there as well. The Lismatia creeping jenny starting to do its thing, going out over the rocks. I love how it kind of, really kind of makes it all look quite natural. Just panning back this way now, having a look up the sort of jungle stream, if you will. You can just see, and what I'll do is kind of, we'll come into here and have a quick look as well. The ferns and everything lining it, I think it's really starting to kind of come into its own. And we'll just take a very quick look up on top here. As we come in, again, we've got the azalea that is coming back to growth, one of the hot shots, more of the creeping jenny. I've also got the alocasia curly bambino, one of those small ones. Most of the plant died due to the UV, but that's one of the new leaves that hopefully is UV resistant now. Just having a look down the waterfalls here, and you can see into the main waterfall there. Just as we look here, some of the ones that were kind of hidden, you've got an onset maurelli that's kind of tucked away in here, hopefully going to gain some growth. I've got a dryopteris atrata, which is slightly different style leaf patterning, and again you can just see here the brilliance one. I think really fits in, especially in the sunshine, when it kind of pokes through this little area here. And again you can just see one of the new frond on the Dixonia antarctica coming up just here. And if we come have a look here now, you can just see another one just here as well. So really pleased with this. The tree ferns this year, new ones have gone in, they've all put out new growth, and I think it's really kind of, woken up the area here. And as you can see, it looks quite full now. Again, got some more tree ferns going in this area as well, possibly a new waterfall there as well. But with that said, guys, Of course, thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for part 2 of our garden tour. And with that said, if you haven't checked out the friends of the channel, feel free to do so. Be in the comments below. And of course, as always, thanks for watching. See you on the next one.